Hey guys, I just wanted to talk about some of the design decisions that Pete and I made over the weekend because we did quite a lot of work this weekend. We actually finally got our component kit in the mail, so we were able to use the real components instead of our proxy components, which is good because as cute as our little cat fighter guy was, not quite as inspirational as the mini that they sent. We did get the fighter guy. So we actually went to my friend's arcade and kind of worked upstairs all day Saturday. The idea for us is that the original deadline was February 6th when we signed up for the contest, and we're going to try to stick to that original deadline as much as possible. We might do maybe our gameplay video afterwards, but we're actually quite busy in the end of February and weren't expecting to design a game on top of all of that, so we are going to kind of try and wrap this up in the next week. And we think we have a game that's going to let us do that. So we sat down. We initially were going to try to do the Doom Train of Dr. Pandestein. And it was going to be a dungeon crawler. It was going to be on a train. And we had some interesting mechanics for how you knew what was going to be in what car of the train. But we sat down, we tried the simplest version of it without any of the complex sort of additional things we were thinking about. And it just wasn't very fun. And we didn't think that adding complexity would make it more fun. And it just didn't feel like a game that we would design, which, can be good. Like, we were excited about the thought of doing something different, but this feels like something that we'd really want to sit down with and spend more time with, just because for a contest, we want to do something that's really us, that sits in our wheelhouse, that we're good at. So we actually went back to the two-player set collecting idea, and we have something that's kind of along the lines of Lost Cities or Jaipur, kind of a set collecting back and forth two-player game. And how it works now is you have 3 or 4 things that you're trying to collect. We're probably going to land on 4 because 3 was not quite enough. And these get laid out into the center, and each one gets assigned a color based on the 5 colors of the tokens. And then behind a privacy screen or a card in a card holder, you order your preference of colors. So you might want to take the red one, you might want to take the yellow one, you might want the purple one, but you don't care so much about the blue one or the other color. And so you then would both reveal your selections at the same time, and everybody gets their top picks. But if you both select something in the same slot, it cancels each other out. So it's kind of simple, but it's a lot of psychological kind of brain bending. How well do you know your partner? And I love that in a game. Like, we got Die Monsters the other day, and even though it's such a simple game, with 2 players it becomes just super intense because you're trying to outthink the other person, and it's like, well, I know that he knows that you know. Actually, Eduardo Baraf recently did a review of that, and he was comparing it to that scene in The Princess Bride with the iocane powder, and that's exactly right. So that's the kind of stuff that we like. So we're gonna probably pursue this one. It feels a little more complete, and it was actually fun to play, which is a good thing. So we are going to move ahead with that one, and hopefully have a playable game by this time next weekend. Next up, we're going to make a nice prototype. We're going to sit down with our playtest group a few times this week. It is a 2-player, so we can play it ourselves, but we want to get this out in the hands of other people. And it should be a fairly simple print and play, so there's a possibility that we might be putting it online. The only downside of this is that the theme is kind of tacked on. We think we're going to just use the components to make those kind of thematically the things that you're collecting. So you're collecting animals, gold, bricks, etc. But it's not that kind of inspiring to us as a theme. So this might be something that we might take and retheme later, or we might think of something else and just not use those components. Anyway, we will probably in the next video have a prototype baby beginner gameplay video, just so that we can kind of show how that works and show any of the design tweaks that we've made. Thanks for watching.